Welcome to the Explainer. Today we're diving into a really fascinating story. It's where old-school traditional medicine smacks right into cutting-edge science. We're going to explore how a compound from a very common plant could give us a whole new way to fight liver cancer.
So let's start with the big question, right? Could a totally ordinary plant really help us fight one of the most feared diseases out there? I mean, it's an idea that's been around for ages, but now, finally, science can actually zoom in and see what's happening at the molecular level.
So, the plant we're talking about is burdock. You might have even heard of it. Over in Asia, especially in Japan and China, its root is a super popular vegetable, but it's also been a big deal in traditional medicine for centuries. And that right there is what made scientists lean in and ask, okay, what's really going on inside this? And this is where the story gets really interesting. We're making the jump from just traditional beliefs to actual scientific investigation. Researchers weren't just going to take someone's word for it. They wanted to get in there, isolate the exact compounds, and figure out how and why it might actually work. Okay, so meet the hero of our story, a molecule called Arctigenin. This is the main powerhouse that scientists pulled out of the burdock plant. Now, they already had a hunch it was special. Lab studies had shown it could fight tumors and inflammation. But the exact mechanism, the how, that was still a total mystery.
Now, every hero compound needs a villain to go after. And in this case, the target is one of the toughest challenges in modern medicine, hepatocellular carcinoma. You probably know it as liver cancer. It's a huge global problem, and we desperately need new, better ways to treat it.
And just to give you a sense of the scale here, hepatocellular carcinoma isn't some rare disease. It's one of the most common and deadliest cancers on the planet, especially in many Asian countries. So yeah, finding new treatments isn't just important, it's incredibly urgent.
To really get what Arctigenin does, you first have to meet this other key protein called gangkarin. The easiest way to think about gangkarin is like it's the cancer's gas pedal. It's what's called an oncoprotein, and when you have too much of it in liver cancer cells, it just pushes them to grow and multiply like crazy.
And this discovery led to the study's first real aha moment. So, the researchers tried out Arctigenin on two different kinds of liver cancer cells. In the cells that were packed with gangkarin, the growth was stopped in its tracks. But in the cells with very little gangkarin, almost nothing happened. This was a massive clue. Gangkarin wasn't just involved, it looked like it was the direct target.
Okay, so that realization brings us to the million-dollar question. How does it actually work? What's the molecular battle plan here? Let's break down the incredible strategy these scientists uncovered.
Well, this is where a surprising little helper enters the scene. See, Arctigenin doesn't just charge in by itself. No, inside the cancer cell, it actually recruits an ally, a protein called C/EBP alpha. Think of this protein as a manager that helps turn genes on or off.
The whole mechanism is like a brilliant four-step takedown. First, Arctigenin gets into the cell and links up directly with its new friend, the CEBP alpha protein. Second, it basically grabs CEBP alpha and marches it into the cell's command center, the nucleus. Third, once they're inside, they find and clamp down on the genetic on switch for gangkarin. And fourth, bam, the switch is blocked and the production of gangkarin, the cancer's gas pedal, grinds to a halt.
This quote just nails it, doesn't it? It's not a brute force attack, it's a precision strike. Arctigenin doesn't just destroy stuff. It cleverly recruits one of the cell's own regulators and tells it exactly where to go to shut down a dangerous protein. It's just a remarkably elegant strategy.
Now, finding a mechanism like this in a petri dish is a huge deal. But let's be real. The next question is always, does it actually work in a living organism? The researchers had to take this out of the lab and into a living model to see if the promise would actually hold up.
And the results were pretty stunning. Take a look. The control group, the one that got no treatment, you can see the tumor growth. But then look what happens when Arctigenin is introduced. The tumors shrink. And here's the kicker, the higher dose led to an even bigger reduction. That's exactly what you want to see. It proves this mechanism doesn't just work on a slide. It works to slow down tumors in a living system.
So let's just quickly recap the key points here. We've got a natural compound, Arctigenin, from the simple burdock plant. It goes right after the gangkarin oncoprotein, which we know is a cancer accelerator. It works by recruiting an ally, C/EBP alpha, to shut down the gangkarin gene. And we've seen this slow tumor growth in cells and in animal models. But, and this is so important to remember, this is early-stage research. It's an incredible promise, not a current cure.
You know, a discovery like this, one that so beautifully connects a traditional natural remedy to a very specific, complex molecular mechanism, it just forces you to zoom out from the lab and think about the world around us a little differently.
And that's really the final thought to leave you with. I mean, if a common plant like burdock is hiding such a sophisticated, elegant mechanism, just imagine how many other potential solutions to our biggest challenges are out there, just waiting to be discovered, hidden in plain sight in the natural world. Thanks for joining us on The Explainer.